Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today it's 15th of October and I am traveling to office. This is the first time I'll be taking this bike to office after the third service. So this video is going to be about how this bike performs in the city after the third service. So let's get started with the video. I thought I'll have to travel by car because it was raining very heavily 1 hour back. Right now the time is 1:28 p.m. So I thought I will not be able to take this bike, but luckily the rain stops. The roads are still wet. Let's take this beast to office and I'll give you my experience with this bike after the third service in this video. The bike is definitely going to get dirty today because it was completely washed and polished after the service. I didn't ride it much and the roads are wet, so it might get dirty a bit, but that's okay. And many of the folks were also asking me, why do I have that ugly looking rear tire hugger? It definitely does not look good because my use case is traveling to office. If I don't install that tire hugger in all these situations, the mud and the slush directly comes on my back. It will be very bad if I go in that condition to office. My laptop bag, my shirt, everything gets dirty if the rear mudguard is not there. So I can't help it. Most of the owners who purchase this bike, they are not going to use it for daily commutes. So it's okay for them not to install the rear tire hugger. But for me it is extremely important because I travel 80 kilometers every day. So more than the form factor, the function is more important to me. And whenever I'm riding to office, I don't feel that pain of traveling 40 kilometers one side because I am so much connected to this motorcycle. It is a joy riding to office and coming back home. But for someone who does not like riding, it can feel like a punishment. But to me, it does not feel like that. Whenever I come here, there is a cop sitting over here for overspeed challan. This is the bus stop that I'm talking about. The cop sits exactly at this place, and if my speed is above 60 kmph on this road, I get a challan of 1500 rupees. So I am extra careful on this particular stretch of the road. As of now, the cop is not there, so that's a good sign. And thank you for showing a lot of love in the last two videos. Those two videos, I have got very great responses from all of you guys. The comments were very overwhelming to me. Like, I was really pumped up looking at those comments. You guys have given me what I wanted, and that's what I like talking about this motorcycle, because there is no one who has clocked so many kilometers on the RS457. I thought it's an opportunity for me, and why not share it with all of you guys. And I have gone through all the comments. They are great. I am trying to respond to all of them as and when I get time. And also in the previous video, many of the folks were saying, how did I get 22 to 23 kmpl of mileage in the city? So the reason for that is, as you can see these roads, right? Half of my commute, the first 15 to 20 kilometers, I don't face much traffic. So it's like a highway ride only for me. The last 20 kilometers is where I face the peak traffic. So if you just ride in peak traffic, definitely the mileage is going to go beyond 20 kmpl. It's gonna go lesser than 20 kmpl. But in my scenario, I am riding half of the way on highway and half of the way in city. That's why I'm able to get that 22-23 kmpl of mileage. That will not, you will not be able to achieve that if you are just riding in the city. So that is the reason behind that mileage. I specifically wanted to answer that. Coming to the performance of this motorcycle, I don't feel any difference. It is as good as it was before. Even before the service, there was no problems in this bike. It's just that the bike had done 12,000 kilometers, so I had to get it serviced. Only thing is that because the chain was loose, it was making a little bit of that vibrating noise. Now even that is not there. But apart from that, I don't feel any such difference because there was no such issue in this bike. When there is no issue, why would you feel any difference? It had that punchy power before, and it has that same kind of power even now. This is what I like about the 457. You don't need to wait for the torque to kick in. It's right there. You twist the throttle and it's there. Lovely torque. And I don't feel any difference in the feedback from the tire while riding in the city. Probably when I take it to the ghats or twisties, that's where I will notice the loss of grip. But as of now, I'm not able to notice anything. That's the reason why I said I will ride on these tires for next 4 to 5,000 kilometers, and only after that I'm gonna change the tires. But brake pads are something that I will have to change immediately, so you will get to see that very soon. And I also want to touch base on my previous motorcycle, because many of you guys have commented in the previous videos that since I have owned both motorcycles, what was the ownership experience like, what was the service cost involved in the previous motorcycle, and how do I compare it with this motorcycle. For that, I think it demands a separate video, and I will make that very soon. And also there was a question like, I travel 80 kilometers, right? So I have traveled on Duke 390 for last 6 years. I have covered the same distance. So I had a BS4 KTM Duke 390 which I purchased in the year 2017, and then I sold it right before purchasing this bike. In that bike I clocked 67,000 kilometers in 6 years. I did not go for many long tours. I think I went for 4 to 5 long tours on that bike, and that's it. Most of it was in city commute only. But even that bike turned out to be a very good motorcycle for me, because I never faced any serious issues with the engine. And you will be shocked to know that that particular bike's clutch plates were not changed even when I sold that motorcycle. I bought it for 2,67,000 in the year 2017, and I sold it for 1,40,000, and the bike was in absolute mint condition. I'll show you the photos which I took before selling that motorcycle. You will be amazed to see the condition of that motorcycle. Usually KTM Duke 390's clutch plates don't last more than 25 to 30,000 kilometers, but my clutch plates were doing absolutely good, and the bike still used to do 160 kilometers an hour every time I hit the throttle wide open. So that was the level of performance even after around 70,000 kilometers on the Duke 390. It's just about maintaining the motorcycle. If you don't maintain the motorcycle in the right way, of course it is not going to perform in its natural form. If you want the best performance from the bike, maintain it, take care of it, and do the periodic changes, whatever is required as per the manufacturer's maintenance schedule. And that's when the bike will be performing at its best. And you see the condition of this bike, right? It has done 12,000 kilometers, and even after that it looks as good as new even till date. It just depends on the person who is taking care of it. And I would also like to say that I am not a very aggressive rider in the city. I usually try to take it slow and calm in the city. It's only the highways and the long tours when I enjoy these motorcycles, but apart from that, in the city I tend to take it slow. The best thing I like about the 457 is its handling and the torque delivery. This is what has made me buy this motorcycle. These are the two things. If these two things are not there in a motorcycle, then I don't think it is exciting and fun to travel to office. And you might also think, why do I need this kind of a motorcycle to travel to office? I can go for any other commuter motorcycle. And the reason for that is, if I go for any other commuter motorcycle, it will take me forever to travel that 80 kilometers. But when I am on the RS457, it has enough punch on offer. Whenever there is an open stretch of road, I can cover up the distance very quickly. So I take around 1 hour at this particular time to reach office. If I start at 1:30, 1 or 1:30, I reach office at 2 or 2:30. And if I do that same thing in a commuter motorcycle, let's say 100 or a 150cc motorcycle, it will easily take me 1.5 hours or a little less than 2 hours, because that bike will not be able to travel like this whenever there is open stretch of road. So, and it is effortless and it is safe to travel fast on a bigger motorcycle. than riding fast on a smaller motorcycle, because the braking is very good and the handling is nice, and it is also fun motorcycle. And that's the reason why I chose to travel on a sub 500cc category motorcycle. I was able to do it on my KTM Duke 390. That motorcycle was very harsh in the city. It did not like to be under 4000 rpm, but that's not the case with this bike. You can keep it at 2 to 3000 rpm also in the third and the fourth gear in the city, and it will do everything for you. That's how good the fueling and the torque delivery is at the lower rpms. But it's not that the KTM Duke 390 did not have that kind of a torque delivery. It was very aggressive in the lower rpms and the mid range as well. It was very punchy. It was like torque literally on your face. But whenever I was stuck in peak traffic, it used to get hot like anything. The cooling system was not able to manage that kind of heat, because it was a single cylinder engine producing 43 bhp of power. That's a lot for a single cylinder. Because of the high compression ratio, it used to generate a lot of heat. But when I compare that heat with the RS457, this is very calm and composed in the city. Definitely it heats up, but not as like the BS4 Duke 390. You will not face that kind of a heat on BS6 or the current Gen 3 Duke 390, because on the BS4 Duke 390s, the silencer was placed right next to your thighs. It used to go beside the engine block, not under the engine block. So that particular silencer pipe, it used to throw a lot of heat on the thighs. It was very difficult to ride it in traffic, but still I was able to manage with that heat for 6 years. And when I shifted to RS457, it felt like this bike does not heat at all. That good the heat management is on this motorcycle. If I come 2 hours before this time, this route which you see, it's empty, right? It is not like this. It will be completely jam-packed traffic over here. And that's the reason why I don't prefer traveling in the morning time. This is the best time that is suitable for me, where I face less traffic. But it's not less. From here again you see this traffic stats, and this is the worst stretch of traffic that I face while traveling to office every day. It's the main high-tech city route. From here, when I take left from this Yashoda hospital, I'll connect to the main high-tech city route, and then it will be like for next 4 to 5 kilometers it will take me half an hour, because the traffic does not move at all. Prior to COVID, it was not like this. It used to be very empty. But when COVID happened in 2020, I did not go to office for 2 years. I think close to 2.5 years I was just working from home, and then return to office happened. And now this is the situation in Hyderabad. It's like crazy. This used to be it used to be like this in the morning time around 10 or 11 a.m. prior to COVID. Now in the afternoon it's like this, and this is the least traffic that you will face in this route at any given point of the time in a day. So if you come in the morning time, you can't even reach here till now. You'll be somewhere 5 kilometers far. It'll take more half an hour to reach here. So my office is in Gachibowli. That's like 5 kilometers away from high-tech city. And prior to COVID, that new Amazon building was not there. It was under construction. So I used to report in high-tech city office only. So my office was opposite to Raheja Mindspace back then. And then when after COVID return to office happened, my work location shifted to the new campus. So I have to travel 5 kilometers extra. And that's how I travel around 37-38 kilometers one side. So when my office was at high-tech city, it used to be 32-33 kilometers every day one side. Now it is 38 kilometers one side. I've crossed the main traffic route, and right now I'm exiting high-tech city and proceeding towards Gachibowli. So from here it takes around 10 minutes for me to reach to office, and this is the place where I take the outer ring road as well. So the outer ring road, I take it for around 1.5 to 2 kilometers of a stretch, and then I diverge from there to reach my office. But because after COVID not everyone is traveling on public transport, not everyone is using office transport. The roads have become a lot busier, and I think even I am contributing to that, because even I'm not using public transport. I'm not even using my office transport. So yeah, that's how it is for me. Using office transport is a very big challenge, because for 40 kilometers they give me a pickup time of close to 2.5 hours before my reporting time. So that's like spending 2.5 hours one side and 5 hours two side. It's like half of your life is gone traveling. That's why I don't choose to go for the office transport, and I travel via my bike only. I completely forgot that the bike is low on fuel. I was riding it on reserve. It was not even showing any range. It's good that I found a petrol bunk nearby. Full tank. Hmm. 1426, 13.26 liters of fuel. You might be thinking, why do I go for regular fuel every time? Why don't I go for power petrol or high octane fuel? It's because I get what I want in the normal fuel itself. So why to spend more for power petrol and all those jazz? I think it's important for a bigger capacity motorcycle to have that high octane fuel. But for sub 500cc motorcycle, you really don't need that kind of fuel. And this bike is a live example, right? I used the normal fuel for last 12,000 kilometers and nothing has happened to it. And also I would like to touch base on the riding modes part. Many of the folks were asking in the comments that how much of a mileage difference does the riding modes bring in. So to be frank, I don't ride it in any other mode apart from sports mode. But if you switch to eco, slight bit of power lag is noticed after 6000 rpm, and that might make a mileage difference of around 1 kmpl on an entire full tank. So if your bike does 290 kilometers on a full tank in sports mode, it might do 300 kilometers in a full tank. That's like 10 kilometers of a difference. But when you have bought this bike for fun, you don't buy this bike just for mileage, right? Why would you want to go in the eco mode or in the rain mode? Unless you're giving it to a new person, or you're not that much experienced to handle the power, only then you go on the eco and the rain mode. Or else my preference is sports mode all the time. I don't go beyond that. And now I'm about to reach my office. I'm not sure if the camera is able to capture or not, but my Amazon building is right there. And this is the new route which has been created over here. Previously it never used to exist, but that's good. And now it's time to close the video, and don't forget to post your thoughts in the comment section below, because that's when I get to know what is your thought process, or else you get to know my thought process, but I don't get to know what is there from your side. So it is very important to post your thoughts in the comment section below, and do hit that subscribe button. Keep sharing my videos, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye. I think I will get the last parking today.